Okay, yeah.
He likes you. Cool. Imagine wearing jeans.
What? Me? Oh. Damn. Jesus.
Whoa.
Oh.
I wish RTO would look like this.
Really?
Holy shit.
Head out. Seven. Head out.
Oh, roll 40. Ah.
To the fucking courtroom. Oh my gosh, Devin, you're talking in Discord. Talking game.
I'm in the fucking court.
Walk out. All rise.
Psst, stand up. Hey, stand up. Stand up.
Echo. Turn the light to
Good afternoon,
50.
ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be discussing case number 85612 in the Central District of Oklahoma, represented by myself, Judge White, in correlation to a prosecution claim filed by Tyler Laraway in accordance with an attempted murder in the first degree. We will be represented in the defense counsel by the Gruppe Sechs company, of which included is a subject who willfully discharged a firearm. Throughout this proceeding, we will hear from both sides, the defense and the prosecution. We will start with the prosecution's version of events, followed by questions from the defense counsel and myself. The prosecution, please stand.
Alright, so my client was in the Yellow Jack bar owned by a Mr. Prime, which he rides motorcycles with. They're very close friends. Mr. Prime gave him permission to shoot bottles in the back garage of the bar, which is outside of city limits, so they were within their full legal rights of doing that. When under the assumption that Groupie 6 called the police, someone called the police, cops showed up, Mr. Laraway put away his gun, went to the bar, and just started having a drink, so he wouldn't be any type of disturbance to whatever was going on with the police. When an officer of the Groupie 6 security company came through the back door, which is an employee-only door, and emptied 3 rounds into Mr. Laraway's chest, which he thankfully has recovered for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Laraway. The defense counsel, please rise.
Oh god, it's Bullet Pig. This should be great. No offense, Bullet Pig.
The defense counsel, please rise.
What is he? What are
Yes,
you
sir.
doing?
Our Gruppe 6 officer, we heard shots. We were there to protect the owner, in which we did not know that Mr. the guy that was in the Yellow Jack, we did not know that he had permission to shoot bottles. Therefore, we were protecting the other people who, in which possibly could have been inside of the Yellow Jack. Therefore, I do understand that, and Gruppe 6 does 100% take responsibility of him shooting the defendant. Therefore, Gruppe 6 will pay any money or any charge for medical bills or anything of the fees.
Perfect, thank you very much, defense counsel. Now, may I note that under 2014 Oklahoma Statute Title 21 Crimes and Punishment 21-1364, it is illegal to discharge a firearm when every person who will willfully discharge a firearm, pistol, rifle, shotgun, airgun, or any other weapon, or throws any missile in a public place or in a place where there is persons to be endangered, thereby is subject to a misdemeanor. How does the defense respond to this claim?
Your Honor, I'm sorry?
Would you like me to repeat that?
This is gonna be...
Under 2014 Oklahoma Statute Title 21 Crimes and Punishment 21-1364, discharging a firearm when every person who willfully discharges any pistol, rifle, shotgun, airgun, or any other weapon, or throws any missile in a public place or in a place where there is any persons to be endangered, thereby is subject to a misdemeanor. How does the defense respond to this? Or do you wish to not make a statement?
I'm gonna go ahead and not make a statement to that.
Okay. Prosecution. You claim that this Gruppe 6 company shot and attempted to murder Mr. Laraway. Am I correct in assuming this is the case, from the evidence presented forth to me?
You are correct, Your Honor.
Now, if that is the legal basis, Oklahoma Statute Chapter 21 OS 652, prohibiting the discharge of firearm with the intent to kill, carries a life sentence in prison. The defense, Gruppe 6, do you willfully accept that the officer who fired shots, or the security officer said firing shots, is subject to life imprisonment and could have 38 years before eligible for parole?
Yes, Your Honor. I 100% stand with that.
The defense, how do you respond to this? Do you have any further statements?
No, Your Honor.
Prosecution, do you wish to add anything to your first opening statement?
I also have papers from a Groupie 6 security employee, which I will not name as he requested to stay anonymous, stating that they have no rules against their officers carrying firearms, nor do they have any type of training procedure for their officers before allowing them to go on duty.
Is that going to be all?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you are aware that under Oklahoma statutes, it is illegal to possess a firearm without proper licensing or registration whilst carrying out an act of security work. It is not illegal in itself to carry a firearm without licensing or registration, as you can open carry in the state of Oklahoma. However, in any contracted work, security, or proper or governmental, you must possess appropriate licensing and also pass a federal training course which allows you to do so. The defense, I call you upon to ask, do your officers or security experts have appropriate training in correlation to discharging a firearm?
No, Your Honor.
You are telling me and standing up before all the witnesses in this court, your security company does not train your security advisors on how to fire a weapon?
Not right now, Your Honor. No.
Okay. Prosecution, do you have any further evidence to add forth this case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I will take session for approximately 5 minutes and we will resume this then.
Rise. This court is now in recess for approximately 10 minutes. You may be seated.
It's not looking good for them.
It's really not. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go very well.
No, I don't.
Man, I might wanna join this biker club, to be honest. Seems pretty cool. Any bait, cause you like go to that Parkville. He gave Siege's heartfelt.
So what are you thinking?
Well, just by hearing what the defense said, I say this is pretty much already over.
Oh yeah, he completely admitted that they have no training whatsoever for their officers.
Yes, and I regret even hiring them to protect the Yellow Jack.
I mean, it is what it is. Shit happens, but
That guy also ran from us after he shot him.
oh,
Pretty funny. Yeah.
fucking Python.
Alright guys, he's ready to come back out. Let's head back into the courtroom.
want me to do that?
All rise. This court will resume session. You may be seated.
Okay, so I have some questions for the Gruppe 6 Defense Council. Now, you say that your officers have not had any official provided training. Do you know if your officers are legally able to possess a firearm?
Your Honor, we do not check that.
You do not perform background checks for your employees as to whether they should be registered to bear a firearm or not.
Gonna be a no, Your Honor.
Okay. Right. Now, under 2014 Oklahoma statutes titled 21 Crimes and Punishment, section 21-920.8, possession of a license required notification to police of gun. Except as otherwise prohibited by law, any eligible person shall have the authority to carry a concealed or unconcealed handgun in this state when the person has been issued a handgun license from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation pursuant to the provisions of the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act, provided the person is in compliance with the provisions of the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act, and the license has not expired or been subsequently suspended or revoked. A person in possession of a valid handgun license and in compliance with the provisions of the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act shall be authorized to carry a concealed or unconcealed handgun. Now, the defense. You say you have not performed any background checks. You are aware that it is illegal and unlawful for somebody to possess a firearm in the state of Oklahoma if they are a convicted felon or if they have previous criminal charges relating to gun crime. Do you vet your employees to ensure they have no prior criminal convictions?
It's gonna be a no, Your Honor.
Okay. People who've been convicted of felonies or juvenile offences that would have been felonies for adults may not have had any handguns or other dangerous firearms, including shorn-off shotguns, imitation pistols and toy pistols that have been altered, unless they've had their gun rights restored after being pardoned for a non-violent crime. A violation of this prohibition itself is a felony, punishable by 1 to 10 years in prison under Oklahoma Statute Title 21, Section 1273.1276.1284, 2019, and also under the 2019 Oklahoma Session Law, Chapter 1, H.B.2597. In addition, Oklahoma's gun carry law prohibit carrying guns in certain places and circumstances, and they bar people convicted of some other crimes from carrying guns on or near their bodies. Now, the defense, I rest this to you for careful consideration in case you need to take another session to review this evidence put forth towards you. In Oklahoma, illegal use of weapons includes pointing a deadly weapon at somebody except in self-defense. This crime itself is a misdemeanor, punishable by 3 to 12 months in a jail and/or a fine of $100 to $1,000. But it becomes a felony, punishable by 1 to 10 years in prison if you did threaten, imitate, or hurt somebody. Engaging in any reckless conduct whilst you have a handgun, shotgun, or pistol, if your actions risk injuring someone and seriously show that you do not care about their safety. The penalty is 10 days to 6 months in prison and/or a fine of $50 to $500. Carrying a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument for the purpose of hurting someone illegally, that is not to defend yourself, someone else, or your property. The crime itself is a felony, punishable by up to 2 years in prison and/or a fine of up to $5,000. Firing a stun gun or taser, tear gas, or mace at an on-duty law enforcement officer, firefighter, or first responder, a felony, once again punishable by 1 to 10 years. Firing a firearm or other deadly weapon in or at a residence or any other building used for public or business purposes, a felony, punishable by 2 to 20 years in prison. Using a firearm or other offensive weapon, including an imitation or toy gun that looks real, while trying to commit a felony. This is charged as a separate felony from the underlying crime, once again punishable by 2 to 10 years in prison. Firing a gun while committing or trying to commit a violent crime, a separate felony, punishable by at least 10 years in prison, covered under Oklahoma Statute Title 21, Section 643.1272.3, .1279.1287.1289.11.128.9.17 are covered by 2019. Now, the defense, with this presented forth towards you, and your lack of evidence to display that this man was not shot in legal terms, what are you doing to waiver this conviction of attempted murder posed towards your colleague?
Your Honor, like I said before, if there are any medical bills, anything, we will. Gruppe 6 will.
No, sorry to interrupt you, defense. In this case, we're not seeking for medical bills. This is an attempted murder charge that your employee is looking at. Do you not understand the severity of this? This is life imprisonment. We have also had anonymous evidence placed before us in the court today that the acting defense counsel in front of me has been in close correlation talks with a foreign national group known as Hezbollah. Now, to those in the court who do not know in session, Hezbollah is a registered terrorist organization which is currently operating in the Lebanese sector and poses a credible threat to the United States. How can we say that the defense counsel is credible when they have currently stated claims towards them that they are part of a terrorist organization? Defense counsel, how do you respond to this? Defense
Your Honor?
counsel? Would you like me to repeat my last statement?
Yes, please.
So, as of information brought forth towards us previously in the session which was adjudicated, information has confidentially been disclosed about the defense counsel having ties to a group known as Hezbollah. Now, for those who do not know within the court, they are a far to Middle Eastern terrorist organization operating. For the defense counsel, how do we know that you're not working with this group, and how do we know that you are a credible defense counsellor when this is currently the state of which you're being accused of?
Your Honor, we are here to keep all private property that we have been asked to keep safe.
So you're openly stating that you are participating in acting with a terrorist organization.
No, Your Honor.
But you did not deny, just then, that you had not been in contact with Hezbollah itself.
Your Honor, I have no response.
The prosecution, I hereby state to you to present any further evidence which could aid us within this case.
Your Honor, I want to also state that before this incident, the Groupie 6 security was under investigation by the Tulsa Police Department for possible corruption within the department.
For the record, does that mean the Tulsa County Department or the Groupie 6 Department?
The Groupie 6 Department for investigation on possible corruption. The Tulsa Police Department will be the ones investigating that.
Defense Counsel, how do you respond to this?
Pardon?
How do you respond to the claims posed by the prosecution of corruption within your organization?
No response, Your Honor.
To the member of the Defense Counsel, and to the officer called in charge who discharged the weapons, may I ask, are you a natural-born citizen from Oklahoma, or do you reside in another state as your birthright?
Damn it, Zeb.
The Defense Counsel, I'm asking you to respond, please.
I'm sorry.
Are you a natural-born citizen of Oklahoma, or were you born in another state?
I was personally born in Oklahoma, sir.
Okay. And the gentleman who discharged the weapon?
That I do not know, Your Honor.
So you came to court unprepared?
No response. Your
Well,
Honor.
I suggest that we call a recess for now. You can get your facts in order. We will then hear from a surprise witness who will be giving a testimony in regard to Groupie 6 activity, and we will then work out a deliberation from there. Now, you are aware that if your client is from a neighbouring state of Oklahoma, which accepts the death penalty, I will be filing to the courts to accept a death penalty conviction, which, if convicted, he will be sentenced to death. If the Defense Counsel itself, and also the pertaining Groupie 6 officers, are convicted of terror crimes, you'll be sentenced to detention at the Guantanamo Bay facility. We are calling recess.
All rise. This court will be in recess. You may be seated.
What?
What? Jesus. Oh my gosh. The cops trying to do something? He just shot the guy.
Ow! Ow! I've been shot in my back.
This guy right here, he just shot him. Get him, cop.
The guy in the
Oh my
second row.
gosh. I'll go grab my med bag. Hold on. Him right
Ow.
there.
Help me!
Stop pointing the
was
gun at me.
him.
It was him.
I've been shot in the shoulder blade.
22 that, 22 that, 22 that. I think it was a miss, but
Darn.
Good lord. That
Oh!
would've been so good though.
Oh!
This would have
well,
been
there's
that,
plenty.
Well,
there's
that
plenty.
Texas
You would have been
church shooting.
searched. You would have been searched before you got in the courtroom.
And
For
a
gun,
lot
so-
of courthouses also have metal detectors.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, 22 that. It was an accident.
That is the imposter.
I didn't know.
I know, right?
That was really good though.
Little ceramic gun in the boot. God, that would've been good though.
job up, Peg.
A lot of
I
stuff is
don't
just
want to go to court.
a lot of this stuff is just going over my head.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, you weren't originally supposed to be here, but
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't
Here you
left
are.
the chat and left the game, so we're golden.
Yeah, at
that's
least
true.
at least you're not like Panic. He just walked out of the courtroom, left the chat, and said, "I'm fucked, so I'm leaving."
And that is how you lose.
Oh,
Hello, gentlemen. Defense counsel, there seems to be some blood on your desk. I'm not sure if that's sweat, but if you mind clearing it up.
22 that, 22 that.
Perfect. So, we'll be calling forth a surprise witness under the name Mr. Clean. If he would please present himself for the court.
Stand up. Stand up, Clean. Clean.
It
Hey, wake
seems that
up.
the surprise witness is currently engaged in other activities outside of this realm. So, we will continue with the defense and the prosecution statements provided. Now, after this recess, I have spoken to the Attorney General, and I have had authorization to warrant, if necessary, a convicted charge of, capital punishment for the crime of attempted murder. Now, if convicted, this means you'll be sentenced to death, in which you are allowed more than 2 methods of execution, providing lethal injection, nitrogen hypoxia, electrocution, or a firing squad. Bear I mind you, this crime is serious, and the nature of it carrying on with terrorist links, and also corruption links, it seems like the prosecution will be pushing for the death penalty. Now, defense, do you have any further evidence which may aid your claims and pledge your innocence?
Your Honor, if I may, I think it was about maybe a week or so before. I think it was 3 of our Group of 6 officers had been shot and killed completely while transporting money throughout the entire state of Oklahoma. Therefore, all of our Group of 6 officers were on high alert.
So your Groupie 6 officers who are untrained, with no legal permit for firearm, no warrant or background checks, were tragically shot and killed, and you claim they were on high alert.
Yes,
Defense, please respond.
Yes, Your Honor. Due to 3 of our security officers being shot and killed, therefore we had told all of our Groupie 6 to be on high alert due to if they had heard or seen or felt them being shot at, that they were to be prepared just in case they were to be getting shot at. Therefore, that does not give the suspect or our officer to shoot. I do admit that.
So am I correct to assume that your officers were willing to discharge a firearm with intent to kill, if necessary?
At very last cost, Your Honor.
Okay, well, under Title 21, 652 of Oklahoma statutes, shooting or discharging a firearm with intent to kill bears a prison sentence if convicted of 6 to 10 years in jail. In addition to this, which is the case which I'm seeing with all of your officers who seem to have no training, Title 32, Section 1289-11, reckless handling of a firearm, also holds 1 to 10 years if committed. Now, my final question I have to rest you towards the defence. When the shooting occurred, was this on private property?
Yes, Your Honor. It was inside of the. Actually, no, sir. That was going to be on public property.
The prosecution, how do you respond to this claim?
Your Honor, that claim's going to be false. The inside and the parking lot of the Yellow Jack are going to be owned by Mr. Prime, making it private property.
Thank you, prosecution. Now, under Title 21.1835, trespass on posted property after being forbidden or without permission can carry a crime if subject to being convicted of 3 to 5 years in jail. But, for this instance, we have a private witness who will be attending the court session. If Mr. Shane Bryant will rise.
Oh, jeez.
Would you like me to step up, Your Honor?
That will be for the bailiff to decide.
Python, your mic's muted.
You can follow me up here, sir. And take the stand right here to my left.
Mr. Shane Bryant, if you will please enact all accordance of events and speak truthfully. I ask you here to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Do you swear on this?
I do.
Then we may proceed.
So, Mr. Clean is the sheriff of the Tulsa County Sheriff Department. He has debriefed me, being the undersheriff of that department, on the events that unfolded at that scene today. Or a week ago, I'm sorry. What he has informed me of is that he was looking inside the window of the Yellow Jack establishment, and he actually saw the shots fired take place. Then it proceeded to him chasing the Gruppe 6 employee who was running from the sheriff's department for an extended period of time, and then I believe the suspect got away.
Is that going to be all?
That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your statement. You may leave the stand.
Thank you.
Now, the defense counsel, how do you respond to these claims?
No response, Your Honor.
Now, by no response, defense counsel, you are forfeiting your right at providing an eloquent and believable defense to these claims. So far, you have provided me with little to none evidence which would suggest that this wasn't an attempted murder on Mr. Laraway.
Your
Do you
Honor.
have the name of this officer? You never stated within the courtroom. Or are you taking responsibility as a company?
We're going to be. Gruppe 6 is going to be taking the responsibility as a company, sir.
So you are wanting me to prosecute the entirety of Gruppe 6 when a Gruppe 6 officer who's currently eating a donut down the street has no involvement in this? I would like for you to advise the name and speak publicly forth towards this court of the officer who brutally tried to murder this gentleman.
Your Honor, the officer who did take the shot and or attempted murder on the defendant, the prosecutor is going to be Braden Kent.
Braden Kent, and is he here to be called upon?
No, sir.
Could I ask why he didn't attend court session today?
Your Honor, we do not know. We have contacted him multiple times, but we do not know, sir.
Okay, interesting. Well, from here on out, prosecution, do you have any final closing statement towards this verdict?
All I have to say, Your Honor, is Mr. Prime has advised me that he wishes Groupie 6 in their entirety to be barred from the property of the Yellow Jack Bar.
I believe we're taking a brief break after
Stand by.
gunshots have been reported outside.
I'm gonna try to get an ID if I can. Disregard it. They already got him. They got him. They got him. Someone got him.
Well, if we could resume this session in lieu of the imaginary shots we heard in our head. Maybe I'm going a little bit bonkers. Now, I believe we have a secondary witness, as Mr. Clean is able to be here and defend himself. Mr. Clean, if you would please approach the stand. Now, Mr. Clean, you are aware that you must tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Do you swear upon this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you may continue.
Okay. So a few days ago, we had a call about gunshots. Or sorry, that someone had stole a Gruppe 6 Crown Vic, I believe, and that it was parked at the Yellow Jack. We approached the scene. We had shots fired from inside the Yellow Jack, and multiple officers were on scene. We then tried to look through one of the windows, and that's when we saw the individual who was shot by that Gruppe 6 officer standing there drinking a beer. We tried to make contact. We believed that he couldn't hear us, and then that Gruppe 6 officer had came in from the back and actually shot the individual. And then he had left, and he came around the front with his Gruppe 6 vehicle. And we tried to make contact with him, and he proceeded to take off, renting I believe, a Sheriff Explorer, and then taking off on officers when he was then led in a pursuit that ended on Union Road, and he was taken into custody trying to bail on foot.
Thank you very much. Is that going to be all?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may leave the stand. Now, the defense counsel, how do you respond to this?
Your Honor, if I may, we do take full responsibility of the security officer that did unfortunately attempt to murder on the prosecutor.
Well, I mean, the officer did not intend to murder the prosecutor. The officer intended to murder Mr. Laraway, who you seem to not be able to remember to name. Do you think Mr. Braden Kent would be able to name him? Or was Mr. Laraway just another one of your throwaway little people who you decide to run after?
No, Your Honor. I unfortunately was not on duty at the time, so I had no clue of what was going on.
So you were an
Your Honor.
existing Groupie 6 officer, while stood as a defense counsel?
My pardon, Your Honor?
You are an existing Groupie 6 officer, whilst acting as a defense counsel.
No, Your Honor.
Therefore, why make that statement?
No response, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, moving forth from here, I believe I have all of the necessary evidence collated and presented towards me. Now, in lieu of Braden Kent not attending, I will be delivering the charge to his defense counsel, and if he does not present himself towards law enforcement authorities within the next 24 hours, I will issue a federal warrant for his arrest in correlation to attempted murder. Therefore, he will be charged with that crime. We will call recess for 5 minutes, where I can list out the current charges he will be facing, and the sentence he will be receiving.
Rise. This court will now be in recess.
Good.
You asking me?
Oh boy.
If you're asking me, then
It's not a question.
No.
Not a question. It's recess.
Are you asking me?
I
Leave
call
him
this one
alone.
sweat.
Quit being a dick, Toro.
Toro, I would like to see
Bullet
you
Pig,
stand up here.
you've done good.
I can't see
AJ,
it.
where'd you go?
Yeah, you're doing good
I
overall.
can't stand up there because I
Mine-
can't see it.
I had it
Toro.
in full, and now
Bullet
I'm
Pig.
looking at another.
Lower your voice box.
Bullet
You've
look at your
done
DMs.
very, very well, Bullet Pig.
Hang on, give me one
Look
second.
at your DMs, Bullet
Ow.
Look at your DMs.
Prez, I've seen the 16 DMs that I've gotten from everybody in court.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
going to be
you
jumping over
say-
on this one.
It's
What
pretty
you
much
say what
over.
I told you to say. It'll go off really, really well.
Yeah,
It'll delay the court case for you.
yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Peer's not allowed in the
Well,
court case.
Braden can.
Well,
Get him,
pussy.
Ryan. Get him
a
out
warrant
of here.
for him.
He's
Well,
I'm
that's
drinking.
not gonna ask you to leave.
Mate,
It's
if you
more
don't
Take his ass out.
Please leave.
here!
There's like 16 DMs that haven't opened or seen yet because of.
Mr. Brian, are you
I'm
in
trying
the
to focus.
World console?
No.
Well, I got 2 attorneys for this, so. Toro, back up, bro. I know it's you.
Oh.
I think it's Toro.
Where is he?
I think he's right here.
Okay.
48.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, it's 48.
Sir, come on.
Get him out of
I'm
here.
gonna,
Hey,
I'm
go.
gonna
This your
grab
company?
you and get you out
Let's
from
go.
behind here.
I got cuffs.
Come on.
I got
Hey.
cuffs.
Stop.
My man is running.
Let's go.
What?
Hey, stop.
I got him.
Bro, they didn't mean literal recess, bro. I swear to God.
There you go. Oh,
Oh, you
They
queen.
didn't mean literal
There you go.
recess.
exactly. No.
That was funny as fuck.
Toro, stop. Oh my god.
Toro, I
Toro,
swear to
sit
God.
down.
Can you stay there?
1 hour
Toro,
ban.
You're gonna sit down and you're gonna listen or you're gonna get kicked out. It's one or the other. I'm not
I'm
messing around.
chasing him.
Toro banned for the 3rd time.
You good, sir?
What the fuck?
Where'd he go?
Okay. Toro is about
Raj,
to
do you want to take him to
boot out of
custody?
this
or-
world.
Boot him.
Boot him
AJ,
out. Get him out.
Pow.
boot him out.
Get him out of here!
Dang.
Oh.
Tough.
I got no coronavirus chances in here.
What is the coronavirus?
He has a
No,
mask
you,
on.
you look like you're
Sorry.
gonna rob the they're gonna rob the courthouse. How do you even rob the courthouse?
What the fuck?
There's like 6 armed riflemen.
Yeah, I would not try that.
What the fuck? What am I looking at? This man. Oh, judge is back.
You're sitting off the close here.
Hi, Kaden.
Yeah, that's good. Completely demolished like I already have.
He's really sore.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the final time that we recess or adjourn for this period of today. Today, I will be announcing the sentencing and also conviction of Mr. Kent. Defense counsel, please list the full name of the defendant.
It's going to be Braden Kent.
Thank you. Prosecution, please name the injured party.
That will be a Mr. Tyler Laraway, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, defense and prosecution alike. I hereby, with the power invested me by the court of law, sentence Braden Kent to the following. Under 2014 Oklahoma Statute Title 21, Crimes and Punishment 21-1364, discharging a firearm. Under Title 21, 1279, misdemeanor pointing a firearm. Under Title 21, 1289.16, felony pointing a firearm. Under Title 21, 1.89.17, felony discharging a firearm. Under Title 21, 1287, use of a firearm whilst committing a felony. Under Title 21, 1287.1, penalty enhancement for weapon possession whilst discharging a firearm whilst committing a violent crime. Under Title 21-652, shooting or discharging a firearm with intent to kill. Under Title 32, 1289.11, under reckless handling of a firearm. Under Title 21.1835, trespass on posted property after being forbidden or without permission. Under 2014 Oklahoma Statutes Title 21-707.1, attempted murder in the first degree. I hereby sentence Braden Kent to the death penalty. This will be repealable for the Attorney General. However, as Braden Kent is not currently in session today, if he does not attend his nearest police station in the next 24 hours, he will have a warrant out for his arrest. Now, for the Defense Counsel acting. For the Defense Counsel, please state your name.
It's going to be AJ and Bullet.
Under the Defense Counsel, with the power invested in me via the law, under 2014 Oklahoma Statutes Title 21, Crimes and Punishment 21, Section 1268.1, I hereby sentence you
Hey, you're okay.
under the form of terrorism, means as an act of violence resulting in damage to property or personal injury perpetrated to coerce a civilian population or government into granting illegal political or economic demands, or to conduct intended to incite violence in order to create apprehension of bodily injury or damage to property in order to coerce a civilian population or government into illegal political or economic demands. Peaceful picketing or boycotts and other non-violent action shall be not considered terrorism. A. The intentional use of any substance to cause fear, intimidation, anxiety, or unreasonable belief by any victim that such substance is used, placed, sent, delivered, or otherwise employed as an act of biochemical terrorism requiring an emergency response or the evacuation or quarantine of any person. By any act or threat of violence, sabotage, damage, or harm against a population, place, or infrastructure that causes fear, intimidation, or anxiety, and a reasonable belief by any victim that such act or threat is an act of terrorism to disrupt any place, population, business, agency, or government. Under the clause terrorist activity, with our means to plan, aid, or abet an act of terrorism, or aid or abet any person who plans to commit an act of terrorism. And transactional includes a purchase, sale, loan, pledge, gift, transfer, delivery, or any other disposition, and with respect to a financial institution includes a deposit, withdrawal, transfer between accounts, exchange of currency, loan, extension of credit, purchase or sale of any stock, bond, certificate of deposit, or any other monetary instrument, use of a safety deposit box, or any other payment, transfer, or delivery by, through, or financial institution by whatever means affected. Now, with power invested in me under the citing of your connections to a terrorist activity. Defense Counsel, I'm asking hereby you surrender yourself to the court, where you will now be arrested. You will now be sent to a detention center. This court is now adjourned.
All rise.
Yeah, he going to jail.
Shut up.
Court is now adjourned. You may leave the courtroom.
Like,
Minute
I'm
had an
just bad
officer
like a smell.
escort.
Oh, we just witnessed
one
two
of the
Group
officers
6
escorted
officials
me.
get jailed. And
Killed. No, they just got
Yeah.
killed.
I guess their
They
life
are
is
gone.
over.
They
Oh.
do not exist anymore.
Here you
I
go.
guess not.
Well, that worked a lot better than I imagined.